Hello everybody, this is somewhat tired Jennifer McCreath. Wednesday, November 18th, 2022. And I just watched the news, well, a little earlier. Read about audit number 2 on Nalcor and learned about how much more money people are making at Nalcor. I guess, is it even Nalcor anymore, or is it all NL Hydro? Bottom line, scathing review of overpriced people. There's people doing good work over there, I'm sure, but they're getting paid twice as much as their counterparts in other government agencies. And it's funny, just for fun, I decided to look at the sunshine list for some of these departmental agencies, including the one for Newfoundland Hydro. Just for shits and giggles, as they say. I looked at some of the other ones too. I looked at MUN. I looked at the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary. I looked at, there's 2 or 3 others. Office of the Chief Information Officer. Remember them? I do. It's interesting. When I worked for the OCIO, I had a couple of colleagues that were working alongside of me. We're same age, same job. All kind of considered blue chippers, if you know what I mean. Talented people who are going to be the future in our field. And it's interesting. Of course, we all know my story. I came out as trans. The OCIO decided they no longer wanted me or needed me. And out the door I went. And I went from, at that time, 15 years ago, earning what was pretty good money, $60,000 a year. And we've gone down to the $40,000 range ever since. Meanwhile, these 2 other folks, I'm not going to name them. I don't want to call them out or embarrass them or anything, but it's interesting to see that both of them stuck around for a while and climbed up the ladder and found their way into some cutesy little positions over in these entities. And lo and behold, they're on the sunshine list, making 3 to 4 times as much money as I am. I don't begrudge them. I'm sure they're working hard, and I'm sure they're earning their money, but it could have been me, should have been me. They're no better than me. In fact, I came to the table with more education and more work experience than they did, but sometimes the circumstances in life, and that's what makes this even more frustrating for me. I didn't just lose a job, I lost a career path. I lost a foot in the door. And yeah, maybe I haven't played my cards right. But you can't help that you're trans when you transition. And that shouldn't ruin your career. And to think that in the past 15 years, both of these people have made over $1 million in salary, while I'm sitting here essentially in poverty, still dealing with student debt that's 30 years old, and dealing with some unpaid medical bills and some untreated medical conditions. I just thought it was interesting, and it makes it even more and more frustrating to see just how badly I got screwed over. And I've done my best to try to let that go and rebound and move on and try to build from the glass being half full rather than being half empty. But I've drained that glass pretty hard and it's not getting replenished enough. My glass is probably 80% empty and it only seems to be drying up. And it's really, really frustrating. And I had so much hope and so much potential. And it all went down the toilet just because I had to come out as trans and live my life as my true self. Otherwise, I literally would have driven myself insane to the point where I would be institutionalized or maybe even committed suicide. I got no regrets about doing the transition. I guess I regret that I stayed and did it in Newfoundland. I was warned and advised, this is not going to work here. You are going to lose things, family, friends, neighbors, jobs, associations. You won't be taken as seriously as you used to. Your resume will be thrown out in the bottom of the pile. And yeah, that's kind of been like that. I've been able to use my notoriety as one of the first trans people to kind of publicly get on the 6 o'clock news here in Newfoundland and get some positive press for us and what our issues are and what we're doing. But the progress, I look at the TV, I watch the news tonight, I see how so many other minority groups have done such a great job getting their story out there, getting their messages out there. And believe me, every minority group that's facing oppression deserves to have a voice. I do feel that there are times where we're fighting over these same scarce resources, limited access to the media. And I've put a few videos out there, perhaps talking about some of these other groups. So I don't want to call them out again now, but it's just really, really frustrating to see that and know how much effort I've put into this, and just to see talent's underutilized. Not just me, there's other trans people. We could be contributing so much more to this society, yet we aren't given a fair chance. And it's really, really, really unfortunate. And it's disappointing that here we are in Canada and these type of stories are still there. We've heard the term rags to riches, and mine has sort of been almost riches to rags. So I never really did get those riches. Never did make the sunshine list. Although I probably should be on there, given the potential, the talent, the work experience, the education. Politics plays a big role, especially when you're looking for work in the public sector. I get it. Sure. As an activist, though, I've had to take off. I've had to be politically neutral and fight for the issues of the trans community. And whether it's liberal, conservative, NDP, whatever, sometimes they didn't always want to hear that. And now it's like the trans community's just been forgotten. There's another community getting a lot of attention, and especially around here in St. John's. And I guess it's all kind of, they're starting to lump it all together. Indigenous issues, women's, and now it's not women's issues, it's women's and gender diverse issues. No one will come right out and say trans because they don't want to take on that extra work, but they still want to try to drown us out. Push Jennifer out of the way as if I don't exist. Trans Day of Remembrance is coming up, November 20th. Who did the first Trans Day of Remembrance event in the history of this province? It was me. What year was that? 2009? 10? 11? It's unfortunate that my own so-called community, the LGBTQ people of St. John's, don't recognize me or appreciate me or acknowledge that the work that I've done and picked up on it. It's like everyone wants to throw everything out. I know I'm not a very likable person sometimes. I can be blunt. Sometimes you got to be blunt and honest with people, and they don't always want to hear that. And then the politically correctness. I'm not a Newfoundlander. I'm a mainlander. Well, you know what? Get fucking over it. I'm here and probably not going to ever leave. They say the grass is always greener on the other side, but I won't actually leave until I know that the grass is greener and that the green grass is mine. But yeah, very interesting. Nalcor, Muskrat Falls, corruption, unbelievable what's been allowed to go on. And this is why we're seeing so many problems, I think, in the healthcare system. All the resources are going to these fucking plum friends and brown nosers, and millions of dollars being given to people just because they're friends with the government or they have power and persuasion to keep the government in power. Heck, they're on the premier for taking a fishing trip. Well, it isn't just a fishing trip, it's who he went to have the trip with. And the fact that the person he went fishing with is looking to sink millions into the Liberal Party and millions into some sort of business venture that the government's going to pay for as well. I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing on that. I love to be up there fighting for the people. Heck, I just watched a video early today, someone complaining about the drugs and the violence in the downtown area of St. John's. I have solutions, but I don't have the power and the authority to do anything about it. For whatever reason, people don't seem to want to see me as a catalyst to bring people together. It sucks when you've become complacent, give up on your dreams. I watched Derek Carr do a press conference there for the Oakland Raiders. I'll call them Oakland. They're really the Vegas Raiders, but here's a guy that's been a member of this team. It's a sporting team, football team. And they got a new coach who's not very good as a coach. Good as an assistant coach, but the players aren't buying into what this guy's selling, and they're going through the motions. They're showing up, they're playing the games, not really putting a lot of effort into it, and they're losing the games. This quarterback who loves the sport, loves the game, was out there crying because he's pissed off that half of his teammates don't seem to give a shit. And I'm almost at that point. I feel I've been the star quarterback sitting on the bench all these years, watching all these other people get to play, while I sit on the bench and watch and collect a measly 1/3 of the salary. At what point do I just say, fuck it, I'm not playing on this team anymore, I'm going to find a new sport, I'm going to find something else to do. But when you put your best foot forward and your talents aren't recognized because there's discrimination, how do you find a plan B? I'm not going to become a singer or a dancer. My athletic days are too little too late. At my age, with the injuries I've got, as much as I was a natural at athletics, I'm just too old to have any type of career. If I was smart enough to start playing tennis at 13 instead of 18, maybe I could have been a pro tennis player making $1 million. But unfortunately that just didn't happen. And by the time I got into running marathons, well, there's no money in that unless you're an elite. And jack of all trades, master of none. And someone who, for some reason, is widely disrespected, not taken seriously. Someone who, I know the rumor mills are out there. People don't talk about me much, but I know they're talking about me behind my back. And it's really unfortunate how many challenges I've faced here. I'm just trying to survive. So yeah, Nalcor, problems. The real problem is that people don't care. And they don't vote, or they don't give a shit, or they keep voting for these same people not knowing what's going on. It's really going to take a strong piece of education and awareness. You want to change society, you got to change the system. You can't just blame one person, one minister, one director, one whatever, doctor, teacher. Heck, there's a lot of pressure on the police chief. Well, he's just one small piece of the justice puzzle. There's courts, there's crown attorneys, there's a minister of justice, there's all sorts of other people that create these rules, federal rules. I mean, the Criminal Code of Canada, that's a federal law. So don't come yelling and crying to a local or a provincial level worker because you don't like something the federal government did. And that's it. You got to learn the difference. What's federal? What's municipal? What's local? And study this Ottawa thing, this protest. What do they call it? The truckers' convoy. Yeah, there's an example of everyone trying to pass the buck. Nobody knows what the other people are doing. Nobody even knows whose responsibility it is to deal with the situation. And there was clearly not a very good rapport between these entities. Again, nobody's going to watch my videos because I've already been dismissed as whatever, irrelevant maybe. What do I got to do? Maybe I got to get off YouTube and start using these more cutting edge social media, Instagram, TikTok, I don't know what the hell they are. I look at some of the crap that's on these sites that's getting millions and millions of hits, and it really has me concerned about the direction of our planet, because people are out there goofing around, and that's all they seem to care about. Meanwhile, the world's falling apart. Russia's bombing the Ukraine. A Ukrainian missile has now landed in Poland. We're not sure who sent the missile. World War III is potentially right around the corner. You got chaos in Iran. Where else do we have chaos? My goodness. Fires, floods, hurricanes, weather events. There's another issue we got to take on. Should we dig oil or should we not dig oil? I know, in the grand scheme of things, most people don't even want to get involved in these discussions, but it's affecting us all. We all go grocery shopping. Do you know what this inflation stuff, folks? Yeah. Be concerned, be worried, and don't just sit there. Learn about what's going on. Try to find ways to be part of the solution. Don't just sit there and let other people push you around or make decisions for you. I used to believe in the ideologies in government services for vulnerable people and having a social safety net. But now that I'm deeper into some health issues, I look at our healthcare system and realize we don't have a safety net. That net will not save you. If you fall, it will not catch you. Our system is useless right now. And people are literally dying because the healthcare system isn't there for us. And this has really got me pissed off. It's personally affected me and others I know. And poor health can lead to more complications in life. You know my example, my leg's been hurt. The government won't fix it. So I can't walk around anymore. I'm taking taxis to everywhere. I don't have money for taxis. I'm already broke. Now I gotta find a private doctor in another country to fix my leg because they won't fucking fix it here. What do we gotta do? Show up dead? That's the joke. People are showing up at Emerge, and unless they're dying, you won't get helped. In fact, people are literally showing up, dying, and still not getting help. People are dying in hospitals, waiting in a fucking waiting room. And all this stuff about people taking their kids with snotty noses to Emerge, that's not where you should be doing that. We can't be tying up Emerge with non-emergency issues. Get your fucking flu shots and vaccines, and get your Tylenol, and well, you can't buy Tylenol. There's no Tylenol left. Isn't that great? Oh, family doctors. We don't have a family doctor. Well, go to Emerge. I mean, no wonder this place is fucked. Succession planning has been terrible. Where are all the doctors? Well, they're all baby boomers, and guess what? They all want to retire and move to Barbados or Bermuda or wherever the hell they can get away from this horrible place. And no, they don't want to come back on contract, maybe for a year or two if you pay them $3 or $4 million, but eventually they're going to get too old, say, no, I'm going to the beach, I'm going golfing, I'm not a doctor anymore. And you should have trained younger people. This Jennifer McCreath should have been trained for a proper role, job, etc. I went through a program designed to fill these gaps in the public service of Ontario. 2002, 3, 4. After that, I was supposed to be ready to go into these great jobs in 2005. Well, they changed the government. They cut half of the program. I said, we don't need any of this. So yeah. But yeah, this all goes back to Nalcor. Maybe I should just go get a job with them. I don't know how, but it's hard for me to go and work for an organization that I don't agree with or believe in. And yeah, they probably don't like me or don't want me anyways, because again, transphobia is still here in the Newfoundland Public Service. One caveat: if you suck up to the Liberal Party, they might give you a job. I'm not going to out this person right here now. But I might do that a little later. Let's just say there's someone in the trans community that was essentially handed a nice senior level analyst type of job on the platter with one of the most corrupt cabinet ministers in the Liberal government here in Newfoundland and Labrador. And my oh my, talk about a waste of money. These two people, I'm sure they're both on the sunshine list, and I don't think there's one drop of talent between the two of them. I got more talent in this little finger, but unfortunately I'm not a Liberal, so I don't get the jobs. Well, Liberals, I got to vote next election, and it won't be going to you. But I've also got the power of persuasion. I have friends. Hi, doggy. Woof. Well, you don't have a vote, do you? But you know a lot of people who do, right? We're going to tell them who not to vote for, right? Give me that woof again. Change is coming. And all you people who've taken advantage of the taxpayer dollars for your own personal benefit, once there's a change in government, you're all going to get caught and you're all going to jail. Some of you people on the sunshine list are going to be coming off that sunshine list. And you'll be down in the gutter with little old Jennifer McCreath making $40,000 a year. So we'll see you on the way down. Yeah. And the two people who I'm talking about, if you've got this figured out, hi, good to see you. I haven't talked to you guys in years. Hope you're doing well. Nothing personal. Yeah. Reach out, say hi. Love to talk to either of yous. Hear how you doing. You're both great people, and I miss you. Anyways, there's my video. Have a great day, everybody.